This week marks the one-year anniversary of President Biden's abandonment of our mission in Afghanistan, stranding thousands and leaving $7 billion in U.S. military equipment in the hands of a terrorist organization. Remember this chaos from just a year ago? Remember the dramatic video of Afghan citizens desperately chasing that U.S. military plane in an attempt to flee the now Taliban-controlled country. Joining us now for his reflections is former Navy SEAL and the author of the book, The Operator, Firing the Shots That Killed Osama bin Laden and My Years as a SEAL Team Warrior. And he's host of the new podcast, The Operator, Rob O'Neill. Rob, thank you very much for being here. And of course, as always, thank you for your service to the country.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You know, so it's been a year of consequences of this precipitous withdrawal in what became this generation's Saigon. To your mind, what have those consequences been, starting sort of on the ground there for the people in Afghanistan?
It's going back to the 12th century in Afghanistan. It's one thing for us to say that the women and little girls can't go to school, can't work. It's another thing to actually live it, because they're basically in solitary confinement. They just kind of sit in their house and now can't do anything. Think about some of the women that became doctors or lawyers or anybody with a normal job, a police chief, something like that. Now they're back in the house. They can't leave without a relative who's a male. And if they do that, it's going to get really bad for them. Something you can't imagine, because the Taliban controls everything that comes out of that as far as social media or anything on TV. They're not going to really show us the bad stuff because they want us to think they're moderate, but they're not at all. They haven't even begun to really go back to the Sharia law they did before, but they're going to. It's going to get worse.
You know, there are still Americans over there living in fear. There are still Afghans who worked closely with the coalition who are still there living in hiding. We were told that al-Qaeda was gone, that the country was not going to be a safe haven for terrorists, that we had no choice but to leave. And yet the leader of al-Qaeda was living there when we took him out finally last month. Joe Biden says that they were well prepared for every contingency. Rob, what stands out to you about all of the lines that the public has been sold here over why this needed to happen the way that it happened?
The one that stands out the most is Joe Biden saying that there won't be a Saigon moment with a helicopter taking off from the embassy, and then a few weeks later there was a helicopter taking off from an embassy. Exactly what happened, the exact withdrawal. And the Biden administration, all they cared about was a political victory as far as having all the troops out of Afghanistan by the anniversary of September 11th. And I don't know why it is. We refuse to teach our people, our soldiers, our students what victory is. They think that victory is simply getting the troops home. It's wonderful that the troops get home, but think about the 13 families who had soldiers right there at the gate in a preventable and a predictable predicament. And they all died. Those families are changed forever because of a suicide bombing that didn't need to happen. It was complete chaos. If they would have taken the 23 guys on the ground that I was on for the bin Laden raid, some of the best tactical planners in the world, and tasked us to come up with the worst possible way out of Afghanistan, we would have done exactly what the Biden administration did. It was ridiculous. It was unnecessary. And all they're doing is they're people in suits in the Beltway that want another term. That's all it is.
Rob, we talked about sort of the consequences on the ground there, but there were a lot of consequences here at home. The other day, the brother of one of those Marines killed during the botched withdrawal committed suicide near his brother's memorial. There was clearly a human cost here. The president almost never acknowledges the sacrifice and the cost of his decision-making here. But talk to us about that. What was the human cost here on the ground for our veterans community and for our military generally?
Well, the cost is, look at some of the veterans who survived roadside bombs, explosively foreign penetrators. There are veterans out there missing limbs, sometimes all of their limbs, and they're still alive for what we did in Afghanistan. The reason we initially went to Afghanistan was great, to kill al-Qaeda, find Osama bin Laden, kill Ayman al-Zawahiri. All those are done. But pulling out kind of makes going into different valleys and trying to make a life better for people that don't want democracy. Think about some of the families who lost loved ones, some Gold Star families that lost their son or daughter going after a target that no one can even name right now. It's a shame that we're kind of just going to brush that aside, and then now we're just thinking about the midterms. And once those congressmen get elected, they're going to be, they'll work for 3 months and then think about their next reelection. It's sad to see how many how many families were affected negatively because of what we did and didn't do on the ground. And then it's just a smack in the face for all of us that fought there, wondering why we did it.
Yeah, and you think about all the veterans who deal with the unseen scars from that war, and how watching their mission be totally abandoned like that impacted them emotionally. I can only imagine, we lose 22 veterans a day in this country to suicide. How many more people suffered emotional scars because they watched their own government abandon their mission in such spectacular fashion, in such callous fashion. Rob, unfortunately, I have to leave it there, but I really appreciate you being here to acknowledge this moment in history and for your reflections.
Anytime. Thank you.